Okay, everyone, good morning. And my name is Ash, and I'm talking to you from Mooloolaba Beach. That's the beach in the background just down the road here. And I hope everyone's had a great Christmas and a good break. I've been playing beach volleyball down there almost every day. Couldn't go sailing because of the weather. And of course, now we're getting smashed with this Omicron variant of the virus. So that's taking over this sort of area of Australia at the moment, including our household. Okay, so this is a monthly product webinar, and on this webinar we'll share the new updates and drill down on the main one for the last month, and in this case it's templates. So feel free, you can click on the Q&A to ask questions, and I'll try and answer those during the webinar. And I'll share my screen and we can jump straight into taking a look at what the templates feature looks like. So let me just share my screen. There we go, and I'll share that one. Okay, so you should be able to see my screen. So this is just a demo organization. And to access how you can manage templates, you can go to this Global Plus button at the top. So what I'll do is just, for the moment, I'll stop sharing my video so you can just see the full navigation. So Global Plus button at the top. And if you go to Manage Templates, you'll see there's three types of templates you can create, and you've got My Templates and Org-wide templates. So the Org-wide templates are if you're a super admin or an admin user of stratapp. And if I then take you to the Workboard templates, and I'll go to the Org ones, and you'll see here we've created a template for the Kanban style workboard, the most common type of workboard. So you can come in here, and it's very clever, I think, the way the guys have done the design. You just see what the only things you can edit for the template are what you see when you're under this Manage Templates page. So you can see here you can edit the list, so you can add another list. So if you wanted to, for example, add cancelled there, and you can change the title, and you can also change a couple of things under the Management tab, and you can add the tasks. And this means these tasks will appear each time you launch a workboard as this template, this Kanban workboard template. So if I go into this task 2, I can edit this title. So task 2 goes here, and I can add subtasks. So I'll just put 1, 2, 3 for now, and checklist items, do this below it. I can also add links. So if I want to, this for the purpose of this, we'll just link to the website. I can say friendly title. So that'll be available. So that'll all sit on that task that's on that workboard. Okay, so if I just go back to the workboard view, we were editing task 2. So if I'm in the app, let's say I'll go to the strategy page, and we're on this demo org for this company. And then I go to the workboards page under the workspace. I'll go to workboards. And if I go to launch a workboard, I'll be able to choose from the templates I've created inside the org. And in this case, you can see there's that template we created there for the Kanban workboard. And if I select that, it'll pre-populate with the tasks and other information that we put on the template. And you can see if I open this up, it's already got the subtasks and should have that link that we added there before. There you go. So that's the workboard template. And you can imagine creating templates for anything you come up with that you do regularly on a regular basis, have the templates there ready to go. Similarly for meetings, right? So we all have regular meetings. So most companies will have, I'll just turn the screen back on, and I'll pause for a coffee. So you think about meetings, most companies will have management meeting once a week. You might be running daily huddles. So you could put the whole week of daily huddles on one meeting card, and then just revisit that each day through the week, and then create a new one for the following week. Sales teams meetings, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll just go back to the manage templates. I'll go to meetings. I've got no personal ones in this demo org. I'll go org wide, and there you go. I can see yesterday I created a template for a weekly sales meeting. So we've got the agenda there all ready to go. We've got some resources they can access, and also the purpose of the meeting. So each time I go to launch the meeting for a sales team meeting, that will all pre-populate. So if we do that now, let's go launch meeting. And you can see there they're available under templates. I'll select that, and bang, it's pre-populated the agenda, that information, and then I'm straight into preparing for the sales meeting, right? So they can start the clock, start it on here. We're running the meeting. I can start adding my private notes. You've seen all this before. So this is my private note. This is me preparing for the meeting. And then we would also have, and we can collaborate live here with the live notes. So if I make that live, then folks anyone who's a member of this meeting will be able to collaborate live here until we lock it off. While the session's active, they can collaborate. So there you go, that meeting's live. Anonymous gavel, you need it to make meetings efficient. So just to help move things along. And you can also share other reactions and feedback during the meeting. Okay, so then we've done the workboard. So I'll just check if we've got any questions from you guys yet on anything I've shown you there. No, and there's also, you'll see under templates, if I go back to manage templates, you can go onto tasks. So if you've got tasks that you're doing regularly, you can also create a template for tasks. So we'll just go down here and do that now. So this is now I'm under my templates. I can do one if I'm an admin for the org, but let's just do one for my templates. And this is a task I'll do regularly. So let's say monthly accounts reconciliation. And if I click on that, and then you can see anything that I can create for the template, it'll appear here under this section. So you haven't got the clutter of anything else, right? So you can change the security. You can even use the org design properties. Say, okay, this task I do relates to the APAC geography, and it's just to do with finance, bookkeeping. Don't really need to select a vertical, and it relates to all verticals. And let's say it's part of the consulting practice. So there you go. The org design is pre-populated. Subtasks, I can write a summary as well for the tasks, add the files and links. Therefore, every time I go to do the reconciliation, I'll be able to reuse this task when I create the task. Okay, so just check for any questions. If you've got any questions, just hit the Q&A button there and type them in. So if there's no more questions, what I'll do, I think I've answered everything that came through during the week before the session. So yeah, 3 types, and you've got your own templates, org-wide templates, and you can access manage templates under here, and you'll see, obviously you can choose the templates when you go to launch the items, right? So that's it. Easy as that. So that's templates inside stratapp. In terms of the roadmap, the next evolution here will be, we'll add built-in templates. So if I just bring up our stratapp org for a moment, and I'll just go straight to the workboards, and you'll see even in our org, so this is looking inside the org that we run stratapp the company on, you'll see here we've got some really good templates set up for managing products, sales and onboarding. We've got marketing templates run up for running all different types of marketing we've got going. Even got a corporate workboard set up for running all things that are corporate, right? So all the corporate functions for the company are just sitting on one workboard. So workboards are really powerful for creating where you've got related tasks or people working on the same thing in a repeating way, or a way that you need to go back to. So you can see here for running the company, we've got all the governance, commercials, financials, grants, etc. It's all in one place, and that's all on one workboard. The beauty of stratapp, of course, is all the content has hierarchy. So if I jump back into the demo org, and I'll just show you that. So let's just go back to this workboard we did before. So you'll know a lot of apps have got workboards. I think it's 22 apps now have workboards inside them. The difference with stratapp is everything has a hierarchy. So this workboard can sit below your goal, etc., on the strategy tree or somewhere else. And then if I open this task on this workboard, I can actually, below this task, add content. So it creates that hierarchy of content below it. So if we have this idea, we say here that new way to do task 2 faster. And you can see this idea I've suggested belongs to task 2. And then we can collaborate here now live on everything to do with that idea. And this idea will also populate up on the ideation page inside the app. So if I'm actually doing this task 2, and you'll see all the related content, if I go into ideas, that idea will be sitting there that we just created, sitting below this task 2. And of course, as most of you know, you can do a lot of this from inside the social. So it's extremely fast, right? So if I wanted to create a task for myself here, follow up on calling Jim re task 2, and I can give it a due date for tomorrow and decide whether everyone needs to be on it. So that clickable link now, that task is going to appear on my private workspace, and it's sitting below this task 2 on the workboard, and it'll also appear under related. So you can go back to them quickly. And we can have nested conversations here. So I can ask a question, what do you think? And I could tag, someone else. So let's tag Mary on this. So she's going to receive that. So we have nested conversation. The social has structure. And then this, its own card, is sitting below this task, which is sitting below that workboard. So if I open that task up, you'll see the source of that task is the task that's sitting on the workboard. And this hierarchy of content is endless inside stratapp. So think about that when you're using templates. You can also then still build unique content below the template level of the item you've created. Okay, so the other thing we promised to cover on this webinar is to talk a little bit to what's coming up in the next few months with stratapp. So we are busy working away on. So in January we're revamping the admin roles. So you'll notice the admin roles in stratapp are fairly extensive. So if you go to, very simple to manage, but it's fairly comprehensive. So if I go to settings and we're under users, and I can assign these different roles to people. So we've done that, so it works really well for mid-market and larger companies. However, the feedback we've had from smaller companies and teams that are using stratapp just within a team, regardless of the company size, is to have more admin functionality to be able to go across and edit, particularly in those early days of getting people onboarded with the app. So we're rebuilding that this month. We're also building a whole in-app onboarding experience. So as new people are added to the app within your company, or it's a new organization you've created, we'll walk you through some tutorials and show you all the key things, and that learning experience will be inside the app. So obviously, as we do more digital marketing this year, we need that to make sure we convert well. But it's also going to help the rollout. So as you're adding new people or someone leaves and you replace them, it's going to be a resource that's available to you as an existing client. Many of you have asked for meeting. So the meeting note feature is probably one of the most popular things inside stratapp, right? So this is the one we created just before. And with all this functionality and that what I was showing you before, right? The ability to add tasks and risks and ideas and nested social, and the fact that this can have a source so it belongs to something, and then all of this interactive functionality. It's probably one of the most popular parts of stratapp. So the request we get all the time now is just to have that integrate to the calendar app. So we're working on that, and not sure it'll be live this month, but we'll certainly make a lot of progress and get it close to live either this month or early next month. And then there's a lot of things on this list, but a couple of you, I recognize your names on the list on this call, will recognize these things. So we've also, you'll notice in the app, most of the OKRs are increasing in terms of targets. So if I open this one up here, so if you're new to stratapp, I might be going a bit fast, right? So basically you got the strategy tree is where you set the direction for the next 1, 2, 3 years, 5 to 10 years ideally, but 1 to 3 is probably more realistic. And you build out the plan, and then each level of the plan is interactive, right? So in one click, everything's at your fingertips on that aspect of the plan. So you're not stuck in static documents. The plan is evolving as you go, which is the real world, right? So that's why we don't do a lot of strategy, I think, because it's always changing. You don't want to get caught out. Well, with stratapp, it's alive and interactive, so it's really easy to keep up to date. And then, of course, below these, hanging off the strategy tree, you then go, right, what are we going to get done this quarter? And you can do it monthly and quarterly. Most companies will set the targets and the key results quarterly. Most companies will do that. And then here you can cascade it to different people, and you can also break this down, right? So if you wanted to break this down by country, the targets for the period, you can keep doing that. But if I open this up, you'll notice the way we've done the targets setting in here is it's just increasing, right? So it's expecting all of the progress, which rolls up automatically. You got weighting, stretch target, starting actual, but it's built around the concept that it's increasing. And some of you have said, well, hang on a minute, what about targets where we're trying to decrease, right? You might be trying to reduce an error rate or the number of complaints or something like that, right? So you're getting 50 complaints a month and you want to get it down to 10 per month, preferably 0. So we're working on that, and simple mathematical change and a few feature changes, says me at the 30,000 foot. I'm sure the team will be busy getting that live for you. So that's a priority for the month. And then the other one, hopefully we'll be able to fit it in too, is just, so because this is a business app, right? So it's being built so you can run your company and you've got that track record and history. So we really don't want people going in, changing conversations. So we go back to that strategy tree, jump in here. So, this is you got approval requests and decisions, you got all this stuff happening here. So you really don't want people going back and editing conversations, right? Which is what you can do in most of the social apps. But at the same time, sometimes you type and make a mistake, or you put something in the wrong card or the wrong place, which I just did yesterday. And so we're building in this timer, right? So you get a one-time 15-second edit is what it'll be. So we've done some testing. That looks like the right time frame, where you just type in a sentence or two and you're looking to go, oh, hang on a minute, I meant to add this, or I don't want to leave that typo in there, etc. So yeah, so we can adjust the timing if that's not working on feedback, but that should be enough to keep the experience instant and quick, but just give you that little savior if you've said the wrong thing, you want to retract it or put it somewhere else or edit it. Okay, so I won't go through all the rest. There's another 20 things on the list here for the month. A lot of it's come back from the clients through Canny. So just remember, under Canny, these Canny workboards, which we built into the app. So tell us what you love, suggest new features. So a lot of the things we work on come from your feedback here. You can also suggest strategic things for us to think about. So a great suggestion that keeps coming in is for us to build an EOS overlay of onto stratapp, right? So so you can run the whole EOS methodology inside stratapp. So that will be pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to working on that. It's on our list, and we've started the research, just haven't got to it yet. And then in February, super exciting, we will be overlaying time management onto the upcoming experience. So all of that brilliant thinking from the 90s, it was huge, right? It was you couldn't get promoted as a manager back then pretty much without going through and really learning how to optimize your time. And it's a discipline that's fallen away as we've all embraced digital diaries and digital tech. It's kind of disappeared, and it was so powerful. And the next generation haven't even seen it, right? Never alone can explain the different theory and the way it works. So we're going back to a lot of that, building into the app and modernizing the experience. So you'll be able to really track, where does my time go? How do I get more out of my day, more out of my week? And like most things in stratapp, when we start adding the AI piece, it'll really be about supporting the individual and making you more successful at whatever level you are in the company. So our ethos with the tech, as you know, is not to create this big brother looking down and tracking you. So we're really not on that path. We're on the path of enabling everyone's success so we succeed together. And then you'll have some opt-in options to share that. It will also facilitate the billing of time. So not only will you be able to build clients and roll it all up and pull it automatically, you won't be able to build them out of the app. You'll be able to pull the data automatically out of the app. But instead of just saying, hey, I worked on your account for 26 hours this month, here's the bill, you'll have all the data backing up what you worked on. So I was in these meetings, I worked on these tasks, I worked on this risk, and all those clocks across the app, right? All these different components, all the different work you do will be tracked, and you'll control it as an individual, and then you'll be able to share that out so you can do the billing, professional services billing. But that same information will be used to, obviously, for you to be able to optimize your time. And then we'll aggregate data. So we're still working on how to do this, but if we have, so if we pick a limit of if you've got at least 5 people reporting to you in the team, then we'll be able to aggregate some sort of trends and pictures to you as a team lead on your team relative to other people in the world or other people in your company if it's a bigger company. And again, giving you that insight without calling out individual team members below you, right? So that's kind of the ethos we're heading to with the AI piece. Okay, so time management and calendars. And then the next thing we're working on too is, last month we beefed up the functionality here under task management. So you can actually filter all the tasks by your own org design. And you can then go, well, I just want to see tasks owned by whoever. So this list changes based on what you filtered, right? So if I said, just show me all the marketing tasks, and then that, I haven't got any, there's no work happening in marketing. Just, sorry, don't want to make bad jokes about marketing. But anyway, that would change, right? So, and then you can filter down to people. So what I was going to say is the next thing you've asked for is, wouldn't it be wonderful here if not just by org design and owners, if you could see the full context of tasks through the whole company. So let's just talk about that for a moment. So you're on the strategy, look at the strategy tree, and below the strategy tree, you might have a workboard. And on that workboard, you've got a task, and then you've got a meeting on that about that task. And then the meeting, you picked up some tasks or actions out of the meeting. And then someone suggested an idea on how to do one of those, and then that's generated another task. So even, just in day-to-day work, you could see that natural hierarchy of, in a small team, you might have probably typically 3 or 4 layers of content. Bigger company, it might go to 8 to 10. So what we'd like to do is present that whole picture to you in one page. So you can just see, right, this is where we're falling behind, and this is the context and what it relates to. And then you can do that classic management decision-making. Are we working on the right things? Do we really need to be doing this? And when that becomes not just top-down decision-making, when the staff can see that as well, then obviously everyone's more productive, right? So you're not having to run around trying to optimize people's time. They're able to do it themselves. To use my co-founder's expression, Marty loves to say, empower everyone to be their own CEO, just making the right decisions for how they use their time and the resources of the company. So, enable everyone to be their own CEO in the mindset of how they approach their job. Okay, I'm rambling. So let me get the second coffee that I pre-prepared for this webinar. So it's early here, and I'm not a morning person, as most of you on this call know. I'll just see if there's any questions. I'm all good. Okay. Don't worry, I'm not ignoring questions. I'm just checking. Yeah. So copy. So some of you will be extremely excited to know that we've started the detailed design. So we had all the concept designs done. So now we're in the detailed design phase for the CRM module. And I think every customer of stratapp that's become really proficient in the app has found a way to do most of their B2B CRM, not high volume consumer, but certainly if you're in a B2B business, they're building workboards and doing it inside stratapp. Now, the reason our clients are doing CRM work inside stratapp is because of all the functionality. So meetings, tasks, workboards, and the ease of collaboration. So the sales team need to work with other people in the company to get deals done. So obviously we've seen that. It was already early part of our plan. And we've got some really neat IP, which I can't disclose on this call, but you will love it. And it's all around enabling you to get the deals done with your customer. And you think traditionally CRMs are very much looking, it's a place where you write notes about your customer and you share that internally. We're really going to flip that mindset on its head. And we'll, of course, integrate to the mainstream CRMs, Salesforce, Dynamics, HubSpot, and Zoho initially. And so therefore, what you'll be able to do is still continue to use those brilliant products for all the sophisticated lead nurture and workflows and things you have happening. But the actual getting the deals done, the work, the collaboration internally, the org-wide experience off the back of that, you'll be able to do it all in stratapp, and the two will update each other. So I think for a lot of companies, that's going to save a lot of license costs on their CRM, because less people really, they'll need a lot less licenses. And then you got training and overhead and other things associated with using more complex products. So it'll be rolled into stratapp. We're not planning to increase the price. It'll just be wrapped in. It'll be another tab, and you'll be able to do your sales. And then later on, we'll have knowledge as well inside the same experience. So yeah, imagine that, right? You're setting your strategy for the 3 years, you're setting your targets, and then you've got all your revenue and key sales activities hanging off that inside the same experience, and then all the work taking place and looking through it and just seeing everything in one place, what's happening, and the progress in one easy experience. So it should be pretty powerful. We're excited about it. I know a lot of you have been asking. I think I promised we'd have it. We should have it live by June, and we're on track for that. And we might be able to even beat that time frame. We're planning to start it in March if these other things I just described earlier go well. And at the same time, we'll also build the email integration piece. So, and that's another thing that's come back from a few of you via the Canny boards, feedback boards. So we don't only want to do the email integration to satisfy CRM. We also want to make it work across the whole app. So if you're sending an email to someone and you want to tag that to a task, a workboard, a risk, or something else inside stratapp, we just want to make that easy to do. So it won't only be tied to the CRM functionality. There's certainly the context side of that, contacts. So in terms of picking up and linking emails you're sending and receiving to people outside the company, that will link into the contacts part of the CRM. Okay, and then I think after that, just looking at my list here, we'll then get on to repeating tasks and meetings, building that functionality into the app. Okay, I think that's enough feedback on the roadmap. They're the main high-level things we're heading for. The update next month. I've got a question just come in. There you go, from Lewis. So what's the timeline on the CRM? So I was probably just answering that after you were typing. So good question. So we're doing detailed design work in March. We'll do some consultation with some of you during April. And then, like I said before, we should have it live in June, as I communicated last year. Hopefully a little bit earlier than that. Just depends on the architecture we decide to go with in the end, and how much we launch with in the beginning. Anyway, that's coming soon. And if you combine the CRM module with the looking through the content hierarchy piece that we're building before it, and also time management, you can see where it's all going, right? So you got this organization in the CRM, you're working on these projects, you clock in this time to those projects which belong to that client in the CRM, and then you've got to pull your data out for billing as well. So yeah, a lot of things just coming together over the next few months per the original plans we had. So it's just exciting for us to be able to get onto that next phase of building out the product. Okay, so if there's no more questions, I'll wrap this and hopefully see many of you on the update for next month. And we're just in the process of building a page on our website, and we'll do the video recording of this session. Yeah, we'll put the video of this session up on that. It might edit out some of my coffee and things first, and then we'll throw that up on the website, and we'll send out an email letting you know when that's live, so you can revisit this if you're interested or want to share it to someone else inside the company. Okay, so thank you everyone for the support, and continue please to keep giving us the ideas back through. We take it seriously, and we all go through it on the product side, and we take every sentence seriously. And even if we don't think it's a good idea, we still go through that thought process of I wonder if this could be applied in another way, or is there something else we can learn from it? So yeah, we really do stay focused. We've got our plan, as you can see, and it's you have to plan this ahead because there's so many modules and pieces to it. And you can see we've built this to then be able to scale to these other modules. But along the way, the feedback we've had from customers has been superb, and we've stopped quite a few things and gone back and made things better or adjusted based on that feedback. And of course, some of the new things we're going to work on, the EOS idea and so forth, has come from the customer base. Okay, wish you a great start to 2022. We're off and running here. We started Monday, we've been smacking it. It's been a great week already, and look forward to seeing you next month. Thank you.